If you ask a child to draw Ferrari, he'll draw it red. No, if you ask a child to draw a car, he'll draw it red because of Ferrari or something like that. Ever since I've been a kid, whenever I saw Ferrari out in the street, it was like a lucky day. Now, take into consideration, I've never driven a Ferrari. I've never even been inside a Ferrari, let alone worked on a Ferrari. Today, I get to do all three. Now, this isn't just any Ferrari. This is $1 million 1950s 250 GT Verano. This thing is worth over $1 million. It's been professionally restored. However, I had to beg Jose to please let me work on this with him. Bear in mind, I'm not a mechanic. I've worked on my own wrecked and crash damaged cars. Although this is a little piece, it means so much to me working on this type of car. When I started working on cars about a year ago, I never thought I'd be working on a Ferrari so soon. I don't just get to work on this Ferrari. I'm surrounded by millions and millions of dollars in absolutely amazing vehicles. I want to get to know a little bit more about Jose, how he started, and what it takes to get into the restoration business. Subscribe if you like Ferraris. If you don't like Ferraris, you can leave a comment and explain exactly why you don't like Ferrari or cars.
Quiet in the set.
Today, I'm with Jose Alvarez. What's up, Jose?
How are you, man?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm terrific.
Awesome. You have an impressive shop here. We're at Newport Car Storage and Restoration. We took a tour last episode, and now I want to talk to you. See what makes this happen, how this started, what you want to do, and just go from there, dude.
Well, I obviously started a long time ago, when I was a teenager, really.
Really?
Yeah,
How old are you right now?
I'm 47.
47.
Yeah, but I started doing this when I was really 18 years old, working on Lamborghinis.
29 years ago.
29 years ago, yes.
Do you remember which Lamborghini you started with? Countach?
It was a distributorship. So there were brand new Lambos. I think they were making the Roadsters and the Diablos VTs
Really?
at the time. And then I remember
The Murcielagos?
no, those weren't available yet. I'm talking 97, 90 something.
Okay.
And I got lucky. A friend of mine, friend of a friend, told me that they were looking for help, for a guy to clean the bathrooms, tools, clean the floors, basically. But the second he told me it was a Lamborghini dealership, I didn't care.
Of course.
I was so happy to hear that. So I got lucky.
Did you like cars when you were little?
yeah,
You had
absolutely.
posters of cars like everyone else?
Yeah, I remember being a kid, and I think it was Karate Kid. What? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The very first one. I think Mr. Miyagi has a collection of older 50s American cars, 50s and 60s, if I remember right. And I remember when he was cleaning, wax on, wax off.
But dear, no question.
Yeah, but
Right. Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand. Wax on, wax off.
I remember when he was cleaning. I remember thinking that'd be so cool to do. Like that'd be awesome to restore cars or just even working on them. I fell in love when he was putting wax and making them pretty and everything. And I remember saying, I wish I do that. I do this. So I didn't have dreams of becoming like an astronaut, like a policeman or anything. I really did wanted to work on on older cars, anything. I got lucky. Thanks to my stepdad, I was a mechanic by the time I was 15 years old. So when I came to the States, I got lucky getting that gig at the Lambo place, and neither I or the Italian technicians spoke English. So
Scusi, Papa di Pupi? Che cosa? Pupa di Papa! Pupa pipi, pupa, papa pipi, papa!
Sei un pazzo, va via da qui!
Pupi, papi!
Sono stanco di te, ti do un
Pippo,
pugno nella
Arbatuna,
testa!
pipi, papi!
Hey,
Spanish and
hey, passami the Renzo.
Buongiorno.
10 millimetro.
Yeah, and it was fun, and they noticed that I knew how to move around the shop. They noticed that I knew, wrenches, and I had an idea not to work on Lambos. I was a mechanic, a diesel mechanic, basically. And so they noticed that I knew how to walk around, and they took me under their wing and started teaching me how to put Lambos together, because they were brand new and they come with no gas, no mirrors, sometimes no bumpers, to save space in plane and weight, you know. So they put no gas other than, like a gallon or two of gas, and they take the mirrors off. If you think about it, mirror sticks out that much. If you got
They
two
would ship
mirrors-
them on planes?
Yeah, yeah, they
Really?
still do. I don't know about now, but in those days, yes, they would ship them in planes. So if you think about it, if you add two mirrors together, that's that much. So they remember they were saying they saved $2,000 or something by doing that. So whenever we got the Lambos here, they would give them to me, and I would put the mirrors and you know bumpers sometimes, and go put gas in the cars, which was the fun part about the whole
Of
job.
course, yeah.
I had no driver's license. I had no driver's license, so it was I was just following orders.
We
really.
won't say which Lamborghini was this, but it's close by.
Yeah, it used to be. It's no longer there.
Oh,
It's
even
gone.
better.
It's gone.
Okay.
So yeah, there was it was called Platinum Motors, and they were just down here on 55 and Dodger, about 5-6 miles down the street, very close to where I live now. Who would know? But yeah, it was fun. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just following orders.
Of course,
they
yeah.
would. It was difficult to put gas in Lambos in those days because the European nozzle, I think, is different from the American nozzle. So you would have to like turn the nozzle upside down and press the the gas pump slow, and it would take 20 minutes, literally 20 minutes to fill up the car. So none of the technicians wanted to do that. So one day they were like, "Hey, do you know how to drive?" "Sure." "Stick shift?" "Uh-huh." "You have a driver's license?" "No." "Yeah, okay, go put gas in the car." And it's like, wait. I don't think you heard me. I have no driver's license. "Oh, well, go put gas in the car." And I'm like, "Hey, wait. I have no drive." At this time, we were trying to communicate between Spanish and Italian, and guy goes like, "I fucking heard you. Go put gas in the damn car." So this
It's
is my
Italian.
yeah, this is my manager telling me that. So it's like, all right, here I go. And that was a Countach. We were
Really?
servicing a Countach, and I remember my legs were shaking because that was the very first time. And it's not an easy car to drive if you think about it. Countach is probably the hardest car to drive, especially if you're backing up. It's impossible to see out
That's
of
true,
it.
yeah. I've never even been in one, and I know it's hard to back up.
Yeah,
you know?
in fact, I learned from them. They would open up the door, and they would step to the side. I mean, they would sit on the side of the door jamb, and they would look above the car to see, whatever was behind. And that was the way they would drive them. And
The shit job at Lamborghini was driving
Yeah.
them to fill up the
right,
tank.
that
Oh
was,
my
that,
god!
that- they didn't want to do that. It was for them. They were Italian technicians that had worked in the factory.
Che cosa?
he had enough of driving, and they knew how to drive. Every single one of them was a professional driver.
But
I'm talking about donuts and parking on the side, like just coming in hot and you know parking it like right next to another $500,000 Lambo or something. They were really good. But anyways, yeah, it was fun.
I
I
bet.
got used to it.
I bet.
Nowadays, I don't even want to touch him.
Really?
Whenever, yeah, it's kind of like I evolved into.
Yeah, yeah. You,
Yeah.
you grow a little wiser. Some
Yeah, I didn't think about
gray,
it.
some gray
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 hair.
beard, and
Yeah,
you know
once-
what? You think you know what? This is a $1 million car. I'm driving around. This is $500,000 car. What could happen? Yeah, when you're younger,
Yeah, I remember when I worked for after Lamborghini, I worked for this car collector named John Sarunian. He's no longer with us, but he was a car guy. He owned a company called Western Wheels back in the 70s and 80s. That was the wheel to have, I don't know, something like, yeah, I don't know, whatever, Mom or whatever is Lexani or whatever is
it
fun
was
now.
when I was growing up. It was Momo and Lexani.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Right now, it's
Who
no,
knows?
no, it's
But yeah, back in those days, Western Wheel was the wheel to have. And so this guy had a large collection of Ferraris. And why I'm telling you this is because I remember taking his F50 in the rain and driving it around Newport Beach. And, you know, uh, thank God you know, he's not gonna know. He's not gonna. He would, he would allow me to drive him all the time because they needed driving. But an F50 is a convertible Ferrari, and the last thing you do, regardless, is driving the thing in the rain. So I just didn't care. I would.
it's the spider one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard top. It has a soft top, and then there is a box. The car has a big red box that comes with the car, and that's the whole hard top that you put on top of the car, and then that makes it a kind of like a coupe at that point, but it's still a convertible, But yeah, I got so used to being around these cars, and then obviously I started working on them, and I started doing more mechanical work on them. And when you do that, then you have to drive the cars. You have to test drive them. You have to get them warmed up, to tune them up or something. So you have to drive them.
Even understand the handling, right? Like, you know what? This is steering towards the left. The
Sure, yeah,
suspension is
yeah.
a little
If
bit
you press the
weird.
brakes, it pulls to the right or whatever, or maybe alignment or something like that. So there is a
And you're in your what, early 20s doing this?
yeah, yeah.
Really?
I was probably 23,
Oh my
you know,
God, yeah.
and that was an impressive collection, even more impressive than what we have here because he had, like a what is called a Tour de France, a TDF 50s,
The
mid
three
50s.
331?
No, it's a 250 Tour de France. Also, he had a 250 Cal Spider. He had a 275 Comp car, which it was Pedro Rodriguez car. It was one of 12 cars, and the man had 288 GTO, a 40, a 50, Enzo. You name it. The guy had a nice collection, and yeah, I was very lucky to work on them, and then he allowed me to start gradually doing more restoration, and because at the beginning I started, when I worked for Lambo, I was doing a little bit of mechanical, but not much. So I started. I focused more on cosmetic at that point. I learned how to prep and sand and paint and so I started. I opened up a small detailing shop, and in that shop, uh, I basically started doing a little more restoration because the necessity of some of my customers of going to rallies, like for example in New Zealand or Hawaii or something.
Really?
Like, yeah, if you go to an island, if they happen to find like a spider or some bug or something on the inside the car, they will quarantine your car.
Really?
So it was a moneymaker because I would have to literally take the whole car apart and just clean it, nut and bolt little by little, the entire undercarriage, the engine, really making sure there was no, bugs or the spiders or something that, they would find, and then they would, not make your rally or your concourse or whatever you were doing there. So it's a good money maker. So I started taking cars apart a little, gradually until I ended
Started
up
building them
full
back again.
restorations. Yeah.
Amazing.
It took a while. I already knew how to do mechanical work. Then I learned how to do paint and preparation. And then last, I ended up working in a wood shop to learn how to like do the dashboards and stuff. And also, I went to Orange Coast College and I took electronics. People started giving me, a little more gradually, a little more restoration work, more than cosmetic work. And long story short, one day they give me a full-on car after I proved myself. And
Yeah, of course.
but I did had that idea in my head my whole life of trying to like build cars. That's my passion. Still is.
I can tell,
You
man.
know, it still is. I no longer like to drive them anymore. As a matter of fact, if I happen to finish with a car and if the owner is here or available, I would much rather hand them the key and they warm it up or drive it or do whatever and come back and tell me if it pulls to the right or if it's not running right or whatever. But I look for every excuse not to drive the
You
cars.
you have matured a little too much, I think.
Maybe. But it's just scary, because anything can happen, and not so much with older cars, with the classic cars, but I happen sometimes to work on new Ferraris or Lambos, or Alphas or whatever, and that's scary because especially younger guys, you're going by with an Enzo or a LaFerrari, you know. I'm pointing at that picture back there. There's a LaFerrari in that big old picture. So if you're driving one of those and you go by, and here comes this guy with a Civic behind you trying to catch up.
Really?
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
a lot, So it's, or they pull right next to you and they're trying to race and they're
Hey man, take care, man. You wanna race? Hell nah. The cop's right there, man. Damn! Oh my god!
they don't like you. I people jealous.
Really?
All kinds of things.
Well, that's one problem I don't have. My minivan,
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah, my truck, nobody looks at me. Nobody looks at me. So yeah, so I would much rather drive a classic car than a new car because you find that a lot. Yeah,
They respect people. I think
yeah,
respect.
they look cool.
Yeah.
They go like this. They like it. They have no idea it's $1 million, $2-3 million car. They kind of like just like it, and they leave you alone.
That's true. You'll drive this nice Alfa Romeo. Everyone loves it. I love it. Everyone loves it. But you go past in a LaFerrari or GT2
918
RS
or something.
918. You know what?
Yeah,
Fuck you.
yeah.
Fuck you. I'm better than you.
I would
I even do that.
no, I would look at the rear view mirror more than I'm looking forward.
I bet,
because
yeah.
I'm scared to death. This guy is coming in hot, 50, 60 miles an hour, trying to catch up. And here I am at the light, stopping. This guy is trying to look at the engine, or how most of those cars, they have glass and you can look at the engine. Well, here is this guy right next to my bumper looking at the engine, or trying to look at the engine or something.
Speaking of that LaFerrari, you have a couple pictures back here. Tell me a little bit about these pictures.
There is a few pictures. This is a 1952, the second Ferrari Pininfarina ever designed for Ferrari. Uh, that's really the car that got me all of this great
Really?
job and all
Okay.
the restoration.
Is that the blue one that you have?
Yeah, there is a picture
Yeah.
in a calendar in there, and there is a few pictures, and very proud of it. And as a matter of fact, that car was restored by the factory.
Really?
Yeah, and don't hate me, factory, but they did a terrible job. They, you know, the guy who owned the car would send all of his cars to the factory and to the Classica department, and he would have them restored by the factory,
Of course,
which
yeah.
you know you
Cost
would think,
12 times as much.
oh
as,
yeah, absolutely, you know, no less than probably $500,000 to restore that car, and that's cheap, you know.
Yeah.
Because there's no parts, you know, everything is handmade, you know, you have to get really talented
Plus,
people.
they're on Italian time. Everything takes a little bit longer.
Yeah, they take a month off.
And I've seen the newer Ferraris and the old Ferraris. You know, the quality.
Yeah,
there's
don't
a
look
bunch of shims in there.
Yeah,
there's
don't look at the weldings on Ferrari.
exactly. Yeah.
They
yeah,
don't. They're lighter, you know. They
yeah.
just put a little.
Absolutely beautiful, but yeah, you can.
Yeah, some of my friends, when you know, or most people would think, you know, this is the ultimate, you know, car, and it's not.
You know, you
so
have a
much.
Ferrari back there. Do you think I could get certification back there if we fix it up just a little bit?
I can let you do that. If you scratch it, I will break your finger.
We'll take a shot at it. I saw the door was just a little bit.
Yeah, we can work on that. There is something wrong with that. That window is not.
I'm half Italian. I don't know if I ever told you.
Wait, that makes you
That makes me a certified.
qualified to work on it. Yeah, well.
So here's the deal. The driver's side and passenger side windows are loose. They're missing some brackets that hold them in place. After 75 plus years of this car being on the road, they're missing. Both of them, the left and right one. For some reason, during the last restoration or somewhere down the line, they got lost. So what happens is we have to make them. Since there's no manual for this and there are no online diagrams, the good thing is Jose happens to have another one, another exact model, but this one in gray with tan interior. What we're going to do is take apart this door and understand exactly how this part needs to get fabricated. We need to ask the client to make sure it's all right. After much begging and begging of me to Jose, of letting me work on this, and lots of instructions on not scratching the car and what would happen if I scratched the car. The funny thing is these door panels are installed with flathead screws. Jose says this is very common for the type of year and vehicle. Nowadays, everything's plastic. We have access to CNC machines and a state-of-the-art metal fabrication shop. But all of these parts were handmade about 70 years ago. Jose says, if I want to be a Ferrari technician, I have to make these by hand. So here, I'm cutting these by hand. Thanks, Jose. Tap and die, and we're all set. Since it is $1 million car, I want to polish them and make it look as nice as possible. After measuring and remeasuring and cutting, we finally had this little piece down, and installing it was a little bit tough. I know this is such a little piece and probably trivial, but it meant so much to me actually working inside a classic Ferrari. Hopefully, this is the first step in a long line of working on these cars. Well, I did drop a screw, so there's that. I couldn't find it, and Jose found it inside the car. Oops. These are the screws that attach the panel to. After doing one side, we went on. After doing one side, we went on and fabricated the other side. I am now officially a licensed Ferrari tech.
So that's a 52 Pininfarina?
Yeah, 52 Pininfarina. So the car was restored by the factory. It showed up, and the guy who actually is in the picture, the guy who owned that car, and he hired a guy named Brooke Betts to look at the car and kind of like give him an idea of how that car was gonna perform in Pebble Beach. That's why he had it restored. He wanted to.
Is that Pebble Beach?
That's in Pebble Beach. So the guy Brooke showed up. It's a friend of mine, an expert, Ferrari expert, one of my mentors and friends, good friend, and the guy gave him a list of 20 things that was wrong with the car, and it was probably a month and a half before Pebble Beach, month and a half before Pebble Beach. If you work on these cars, and anybody that knows what Pebble Beach is and the Concours and all this, you know that whoever is working on a car for Pebble Beach will never work on a car a month before Pebble Beach. As a matter of fact, more like a year before Pebble Beach, and that's pushing it too. Because it's the ultimate. It's supposed to be perfect. Whoever is qualified to work on something like that is absolutely busy a month before Pebble Beach. So luckily for me, since there was no one available, the guy gave me a shot at detailing the car, not at doing any mechanical work or anything, but because he had made fun of me years before. When in fact, when that car, before the car left to the factory, I told him, I can restore that, and he literally he laughed hard. He was like, like that, like the guy, like I told the guy, I can restore that guy. He was like, you no, please come on.
Yeah.
He literally laughed at me, like, and I was embarrassed when
yeah.
a year or two after, car comes back, and I got hired to basically do cosmetic work in it. And I'm not opening my mouth because the guy had made fun of me years before. Well, I had the last laugh.
Did you charge him double?
No, as a matter of fact, I don't even remember how much he paid me to work on. And the rest is history, guys. I restore anything from Cal Spiders, TDFs, 275s. I got good, and then I ended up working on Alphas. And also I have done some 356 Porsches. Not an expert. I'm not gonna claim myself to be an expert on Porsches, but I've worked in a few Carreras and a few Speedsters, and luckily for me, everything has worked out. But basically, I'm pretty much a Ferrari and Alfa Romeo restorer.
Okay.
Basically,
that makes sense. Yeah.
that was the history behind that picture. This other picture is a 55 Europa, which is back there. It's still back there.
It's still back there, yeah.
He just keeps following me. I have met the last two owners of that car, and basically, whenever they sell it, they say,
Refer back
well,
to
yeah,
you.
they
Give it to Jose.
yeah,
he knows what
has
he's
worked
doing.
on it
Yeah.
for the last 25 years or whatever, and basically he keeps following me around. But it's a fantastic
That
restoration.
is a beautiful, beautiful
man,
car. Yeah.
That's an iconic. It's an iconic Ferrari.
Out of all of the cars you have here, that Ferrari 250
It's my
Europa,
favorite.
I think
it's my favorite.
it's so classic. It's so beautiful. It's very elegant. The colors
yeah.
just flow together.
The colors,
it's very
the
nice.
lines, everything is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough that I work on it extensively. Done the transmission, done the engine. I restored that car little by little. I have probably restored the whole thing, but in pieces. I've done the transmission, and then a year later I would do the engine or redo the upholstery or something like that. But that is very iconic. That car has been in the factory several times. As a matter of fact, that picture is in Italy in a race called the Mille Miglia, which they do every year, and you have to be qualified for the race. You can't just take a car and
How many cars here have been in the Mille Miglia?
In the Mille, at least two. That 55 and this Zagato, double bubble Zagato, which is another one.
I think that is my second favorite.
Right?
It's that one, and these two are absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's arguably one of the prettiest cars in the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The nose, the roof, the vents, everything is just so unique and elegant. And then I was very lucky. The guy who bought it from Europe gave it to me for restoration. I did this car. I did it in less than a year. I think I did it in 11 months. The guy got accepted in Pebble Beach, and the car was beat up. It wasn't, it had he's been in 6 millimeters, and it looked like he had been in 6 milli. So since the car got accepted, the guy showed up and begged me. He didn't have to beg me because I was actually hoping when he first told me about maybe calling Pebble Beach and ask them if if they wanted the car, and they say yes. It's an absolute. They had a class, a Zagato class. There is Zagatos like Ferrari Zagatos. There is Alfa Romeo Zagatos, Maserati Zagatos. DB5 Zagatos, Aston Martin Zagatos. So
Zagato was a builder, correct?
It's a coach builder. Yeah, it was a bodybuilder. So basically, the car had been accepted in that class. So the guy wanted to restore the car, showed up, and he goes like, "We have 11 months to restore the whole thing. Can you do it?" And absolutely, I think I started next day on it, taking it all apart, the engine, transmission, all the I basically stripped the whole thing and started from zero. I redid the transmission, the engine. We had to do a little body work since it had been raised, and none of these aluminum pieces were perfect, and we have to like redo the nose and fix some rust on the door jambs. And I have pictures of the restoration, but I did work in it. I want to say I at least 15 hours a day, 7 days a week for 11 months or so, working every day. And one thing that I unfortunately have is that nobody else touches the car. I don't want anyone else to do anything. I want to do it all because because I want it perfect. You know, I when I started doing restorations is because everybody blamed each other
Yeah,
on and that you know
still happens. Yeah.
oh yeah you that it's very common.
Yeah.
Uh, the mechanic blames the painter blames the upholstery man, the upholstery blames the electrical guy, the electrical blames the painter, but of oh, this got scratched. The painter gets mad. He has to work on it. Who did it? And then the mechanic did it, and then the mechanic would be, "Oh, I didn't do it. The electrical guy did that or something." So it's a constant battle, and what's worse is that a lot of times they don't want to say it. They don't want to say, "Oh, I messed up. I put a dent in it," and basically you are, you know, classic a day before or the car is leaving, you notice this scratch and
Yeah.
and all hell breaks loose, and then you have to fix it, and it doesn't come perfect because you're rushing. I've been in the bottom of in the garages of many hotels in Monterey or Pebble Beach, finishing the car the night before the show, and that's very common. There'll be detailers, mechanics working on these cars right the night before the show.
How many times have you been to Pebble?
Oh, several dozens.
Really?
Yeah. Since I think I did my first Pebble Beach when I worked at the Lambo place. We used to do this event called the Running of the Bulls, and we would drive. Um, Depending on the year, I think the first one was the 50th anniversary of Lambo being in America. So we drove 50 Lambos to to Pebble Beach, and then the next year 51, 52, and so on. But basically, that's how I ended up doing this restorations.
So when did you open up this shop?
I've been in this shop for probably 10 years plus.
So this is a mix of car storage and restoration
Yeah, I
here?
do car storage. Obviously, it's a big place. I had 25 cars plus in here, so I do not need this big of a shop.
But it's nice to be around them,
Yeah, I kind of landed here because one of the guys that I used to restore cars for, this was his shop, and then I ended up coming here, and after he sold his collection because he got older and he didn't want to deal with it anymore. A lot of work. I ended up staying here, and that's I ended up staying here, and not because of a choice. I had a smaller shop in those days. Storage, there is people that don't have enough room in their home, or they don't drive the car much. They'd rather park their everyday car, and they know the car is secure, and I'm I'm an expert at doing it, many of them make friends when they happen to show up, and then the guy knows that other car is
that's
here.
a great Ferrari. I've got another Ferrari.
And
Let's buy some property.
Yeah, and then literally, a few minutes later, they're going to have dinner or something, and it's one other thing that is very cool about this job, that you get to meet and make great friends.
Absolutely,
great friends, and most of the guys are nice because it's their hobby. They're not dealing with business. So
I've found car culture car people. They're really friendly. They like to.
Yeah, they like to show up a little bit.
They're nice cars. You like to show off your car to other car people who actually appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because you take some cars to people who don't know about cars. It's like, oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah, they just look at it. They think it's cool, but
it's cool. It's old. Yeah, it's old. But like this double bubble or that 250 Europa, it's been the Mille Miglia. These cars have so much story. There's a Bugatti back there that I think has been to Pebble Beach and
it's been
placed.
I think it won its class. I believe it won its class. If not, they should have won its class because it's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yes, there is a.
I'm very proud of you, man. This is amazing. When I was here last time, my jaw dropped to the floor. It's like,
Jose, I do that all the time. Like
Jose, what is happening? You have two of my dream cars back there, three of my dream cars back there. Plus, I had no idea about this Zagato, what it was, and when you told me, you know what? My dream cars back there. I think this is one of my dream cars now.
Yeah, definitely. There is only three, by the way, and that's probably the most difficult part about restoration or working on these cars. There is no parts. There is no parts whatsoever.
You have to fabricate.
So you have to make them, fabricate them, or pay an arm and a leg if you happen to find parts for it. You know.
I've got a little experience fabricating parts. I'll
Oh
let you know.
yeah, well.
So I know you restore cars. I rebuild cars. I like to rebuild cars, like crash cars. It's completely it's completely different, but
it's a passion, man.
I like turning a wrench and putting something back together. That's what I love to do. It's this car stuff is new for me. I've built homes for the past 25 years. I'm starting to love cars now. When I was a little kid, I had posters on the walls of Countach's and Ferraris, not a Porsches. I wasn't a Porsche guy. Now that I'm older, I absolutely love Porsches. You have three of the most beautiful Porsches I've ever seen in my life back there.
Yeah.
There's a 918 Spider, there's a GT2 RS, and there's a 911 Turbo back there. I believe it's a 964 and 930.
Right.
Absolutely beautiful.
Low mileage. They're all very low mileage.
And then you have another sport classic up back there as well. So anyway, I absolutely love Porsches now. Anyway, it's going back, but I love cars. I love working on cars. I appreciate so much you having me here and letting me come back here and actually working on one of these.
It's fun.
I absolutely love it, and I really appreciate it. What's the next step? Where do you want to go with this shop? What do you want to do?
At this point, I have all the experience, but I'm not done. I still want to restore better cars. You would think it doesn't get better than this, but there is always. I would love to do an LM, Testarossa, TR, something like that.
Yeah.
But I also I fell in love with Alphas. Alphas are especially from the 50s.
Alphas or Alfies?
Alphas. Alphas are very elaborate.
Yeah.
They're very unique. So I like that. I like all the small details, all the polishing.
And last question is: out of all the cars you've ever driven, out of all the cars you've ever seen or haven't seen, what is your absolutely favorite car?
Definitely when I was in my early 20s, when I worked for John, he had the last long wheelbase California Spider ever made. And that was just so unique. Great handling, great power, great noise when you step on him. That's probably my favorite. My second favorite is probably an F40. I had the chance of restoring one a few years back. Someone tried to make an LM out of it. An LM is the
You only get one. That's it.
yeah, it's hard. Yeah, the Cal Spider. The Cal Spider is probably
awesome, man.
Yeah, my favorite at this point.
Sounds good. I'll put your contact info at the bottom. You tell me.
Yeah, I driven pretty much everything. You know, so it's hard to pick a favor. You know, and but yeah. Cal Spider's probably.
Let's do it. Appreciate it.
250 Cal Spider.
Love it. Jose, appreciate it so much, man. We'll get you one of those 250 GTs.
A little one.
A little one. There
Hot wheel or something.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming. And,
thank you, brother.
Let's do it again. Let's work on a Ferrari now.
We'll do. Let's do it.